Hey folks, I'm Aspen Arrow, and we are back in RimWorld after making Smith a mechanitor last episode. We also got a little construction bot, and we have 2 quests. One for guarding 4 prisoners that'll give us a variety of rewards, and then a psychic suppression for 5.5 days on males. So we'll look to get those done today. I don't normally take psychic suppression, but for whatever reason felt the need to this time. So after doing some rearranging to keep our 4 prisoners separated, we are going to go ahead and accept for the tough skin gland and bionic arm. With needing to keep the prisoners alive and hopefully not escaping, I did decide to go ahead and convert our bedrooms into individual prisons rather than putting them all in one little room, as I have had bad experiences in the past putting the guarded prisoners all in one room and then they escape and either they take too much damage or, you know, misfortune occurs. So we will send everybody to capture these prisoners. They are sick with blood rot, so they will eat up some of our medicine, but should be okay. We have a fair amount. And next up, we have an animal migration of alpha beavers. So, seeming like a good opportunity to grab some meat and leather. We will send everyone to go hunting, as the beavers are actually close by. Most of the migrations have been pretty far away. And unfortunately, we do hit, instantly angering pretty much every single one of the beavers, who will quickly be able to surround our weak melee impids. So it is time to be a quick retreat, and mistakes have been made. I did not anticipate that all of the beavers would go manhunter so quickly, so we run away. Quickly getting everyone in the door, which closes just in time. So we'll send a few people to circle around and 1 person to repair the door. And we miss pretty much all of our shots. And the door, being stone, doesn't close quickly enough, so the alpha beavers quickly make it into the base. And the mistakes continue to pile up. Fortunately, they shouldn't do too much damage. Danny is here with her longsword, so we'll send her to go try and block up that door, which is now finally closing. Slowly but steadily, we get the beavers taken care of, but not in a clean or organized way. Just a few scratches. All in all, everyone should be fine, so we'll send them all to get rested and tended. And leave the couple outside our walls just to run around. You can see our prisoners have all woken up and are moving about their cells. We have everybody healing from the beaver mistake. And we have a scatterpod drop of Itakein. Unfortunately, one of our folks way far away down by the ancient danger, so we're just going to grab everyone and pull them inside. Hoping that Sezen can get back in time to not be caught out alone. And she is able to get in, but not before a raider has started lighting our corn on fire. You can see that we do also have a trade caravan of tribals here who will take the brunt of some of the damage. So we send our impids out with their great bows. And we're able to take down the first Itakein. Head out the door to use that soft sand to our advantage again. Taking out one of the boars. And then another Itakeen, who fortunately just has a smoke launcher. And with that, everyone's fleeing. It does look like our guests took out one, maybe two of the raiders. But the fire is continuing to spread on our corn. So we will get that put in the home zone and hope to save it. We are past our growing season, but I'm trying to push it as far as we can to get as much food. And as you can see, it's not in the home zone, so everyone's ignoring the fire. We get that fixed and send everyone over to fight that fire. And as we continue on, we were able to save the corn and harvest it, but you can see the rest of our crops are starting to die a few days later. And so it is time to harvest the devil strand. We're going to put our 2 primary growers on all work so that they will go take care of harvesting. Probably should have set up a zone to lock them in place, as the AI is of course rather silly and goes to eat and harvest things I'm not worried about, like the little bit of cocoa we were growing. And then I noticed that they run in to start putting daylilies in the pots. So an easier way to do this would have been to create a zone and just trap them with the devil strand. But they get to it eventually. You can see making fairly quick work of the harvest. And while Mila and Haz are out working, I guess it's time for a party. Maybe they are the party poopers. Fortunately, the party goes sideways fairly quickly as Rove and Sezon get into a social fight. Rove being one of our newer colony members, not putting herself in the best light. But Sezon did tell her she looked like a chinchilla, so I mean maybe there's something to that. I think chinchillas look pretty cute though. Maybe it was a attempted relationship gone wrong. Fortunately, no permanent damage and everyone will recover. We have also apparently crossed a well threshold and now need to add some columns to our little temple to help avoid the mood debuff. And our little mech bot is helping out building our mech workshop where we will have Smith make some more mechs as we continue on. And given that we have a ton of stuff to haul and everything's going so well, let's go ahead and accept that psychic suppression quest. We'll be on males for 5.5 days. Which takes Danny up to Acolyte. So slowly working on Danny getting some additional psi-links since she is not tribal, but is psychically sensitive. We'll need to build a throne at some point to accept that quest. And as Forath tends everyone's bruises from the social fight, we get a mechanoid cluster. I think this is our first cluster. You can see landing down by the Exo Strider that we took care of last episode. And it is a weather controller of fog. Fog will cause us to be less accurate when fighting and is not an ideal. If it had been something to make it a little cooler, I might have left it be. Fortunately, no active mechs, but a lot of turrets, and our recent raid did drop us a smoke launcher, so this shouldn't be too much trouble to take care of. Just want to make sure the assembler is taken down before it starts making scythers. You can see we actually got 2 smoke launchers out of that scatter drop raid. Not in a hurry to take care of it. We do finish prosthetics. So can replace some of our peg legs. And decided to go with microelectronics so we can start moving on to higher tech and also get a trade beacon and comms console. I'm just waiting for Sazin to hopefully heal up a bit more after that social fight to take out the mech cluster. While there shouldn't be any issues, don't want to have a Scyther pop out and have her moving slower. And we get a transport pod crash of Siri, and as we send Forath out to tend, we decide to get muscle parasites as well. Randy making sure that we are just not going to be moving around. So as you can see, 5 of our colonists and 1 prisoner. So that is on top of the psychic suppression on our male colonists. Siri was a fine colonist, but did decide not to worry too much about whether or not she joined. Just threw down a spot and hope to get some rep out of it. And with Sezin mostly healed and Mila now assigned a smoke launcher, we will send a bunch of the gals out to take care of the mech cluster. Not necessarily what you want for a gal's day out, but sometimes girls gotta do what she's gotta do. Was fortunate that we got the smoke launcher, though I believe we could have made one if we had to. Takes them a bit to get down there. And then it's just a fairly simple matter of having Mila shoot smoke so that the turrets can't see us and taking out all the buildings. You can see Mila moving very slowly with her leg, and then she also has muscle parasites. Everyone's mood pretty poor. They're going to end up using Word of Joy on Forath because the colony's not feeling great right now. You can see shooting has woke up the mechs. Turrets start moving around, but they cannot see us through the smoke. This will take quite some time. One turret down. Get the assembler down, and much later in the day, we are finally able to clear the turrets out of the way. And then we will send everyone over to go punch that weather controller. See that we also have just a good long list of issues going on of clothes and medical treatment, minor break risk, exhaustions. We don't have a way to recharge our mech. It's going really well in the colony. Most of these will be attended to once everyone gets home because they need their muscles parasites tended, which will be taken care of. And as you can see, our 2 male colonists down to 20 and 17% movement with psychic suppression and muscle parasites. So with that, I'm gonna call this episode good for today. We'll hopefully finish up our 2 quests and see Danny attain her acolyte ceremony. I'd like to thank you so much for joining me today in RimWorld. And as always, have a pleasant day, and we'll see you next time.